Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Rich Guides. My name is Rich and today we will be having a discussion on the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, or the NIW for short. If you are here, you probably know that the EB-2 NIW is a unique path to a permanent residency for those with advanced degrees or exceptional ability and who can demonstrate that their work benefits the United States. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest factors for a successful NIW application, which is showing that your work is in the national interest of the United States. This might sound intimidating at first, but don't worry, we are going to break it down so you can approach this strategically and confidently. So let's start with the basics. What does national interest actually mean? In this context, national interest is a way of saying this work has a benefit that goes beyond one person or company and positively impacts the country as a whole. USCIS is looking for work that matters at a broader level, maybe economically, scientifically, culturally, or in terms of public health and safety. For example, let's say you are working on a project related to public health, maybe developing a more effective way to detect infections. That's clearly something that would benefit the US, especially in the wake of the recent pandemic. Or maybe you are in the renewable energy sector working on innovations that could help reduce America's dependence on fossil fuels. Those kind of contributions align with national priorities. The key is to frame your work as something that is valuable beyond just your own career or even your employer's interest. You are showing USCIS that you are doing something that makes a difference on a much larger scale. To see if your work meets the national interest standard, USCIS uses a specific three-prong test. Let's talk through it. The first is substantial merit and national importance. Here, USCIS is trying to check if your field of work is important on a national scale. So for example, fields like cancer research, artificial intelligence, education, or environmental science have clear societal impact. The second is well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. And it is often one of the most challenging to address, because you need to show that you are well equipped to take on this endeavor and that you have the skills, you have the knowledge, and you have the experience to make real impact. This is about establishing your credibility and potential as a leader in your field. Lastly, benefit to the US if job offer requirement is waived. You need to show that your work is beneficial enough to justifying the waiving requirement for a job offer. Remember, job offer is not a requirement for EB-2 NIW. So in other words, USCIS wants to see that it is better for you to be free to make an impact in your field than to be tied to one specific employer. Now let's break down some strategies for each prong to help you build a strong case. So strategy for national importance and substantial merit. Think about why your field of work is important on a broader scale. For instance, if you are in biotech and working on an antibiotic resistance, you can emphasize how crucial this research is for public health. You want to be able to answer, why does the US need people working in this field? Make sure to connect your field's importance to issues that are relevant in the US right now, whether it is healthcare, technology, climate change, or national security. For instance, you might say antibiotic resistance infections are a major public health threat, leading to thousands of deaths annually in the US, and my work aims to develop solutions that could alleviate this crisis. Let's talk about some strategies for the second prong, which is well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. For this prong, think of it as showing why you specifically are suited to make a difference in this field. Here, it is always helpful to outline that what you have achieved so far, like notable research, awards, or special training that sets you apart. You can mention publications, patents, or any major project you have led. You could also frame it by saying, with my experience in both clinical and research settings, I am uniquely positioned to contribute to reducing infection rates, especially in vulnerable populations. If you have recognitions from others in your field, like recommendations or honors, these are strong indicators that you are well positioned to make an impact. For the third prong, which is the last prong, waiving the job offer requirements, this prong is all about showing why your work would benefit the US even more without a job offer restriction. Perhaps you are working in a field with limited specialists or contributing something highly innovative that needs the freedom to collaborate across different organizations. For example, if you are working in environmental engineering, you could say, by waiving the job offer requirement, I can work with multiple universities and government agencies which is essential for developing large-scale environmental solutions. Highlighting the unique advantages of being able to contribute broadly in your field strengthens this part of your case. Now, before we wrap up, let's cover some common mistakes people make with NIW applications. The first is vague or general claims. It is tempting to say, my work is important without providing specific examples, but this will not be enough for USCIS. You need to bring in concrete evidence like articles, patents, publications, or any measurable outcomes to back your claims. The second is weak or generic letters of recommendations. Your recommendation letters are crucial, but they need to be from people who can really speak to your work. Aim for experts who know your contributions well and can provide specific examples of your impact. General endorsements, even from well-known individuals, won't be as convincing. Again, forgetting the national impact angle is always some of the mistakes people make. Remember, USCIS wants to see how your work benefits the US and not just your field in general. So make sure your evidence and examples are always relevant to US national priorities or public benefits. In closing, building a strong NIW case is about demonstrating that your work has meaningful national benefits and that you are well qualified to make a difference, and your work would be even more impactful if you had the freedom to operate without a job offer constraint. It may take time to put all the evidence together, but each prong is important. If you are strategic about highlighting your contributions and their broader impact, you are giving yourself the best possible shot at approval. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you have any questions or need further guidance on your case, feel free to reach out. Good luck on your NIW journey, and until next time, take care. I'll see you in my next video.